Good morning, everybody. Emma here from 24 Fingers, a social media agency in Brentwood in Essex. And today I've gone across the pond and I'm chatting to the lovely Lorraine Williams from the Thyroid Trust in Kent. Hi, Lorraine.
Hi, Emma. Thanks for having me.
Absolute pleasure. So this is really special for me. So Lorraine and I have known each other for like over 20 years. We were trying to work it out this morning and we both look exactly the same. Well, we think we do anyway, but moving on. So, Lorraine, if you're ready, I'm going to kick off. Okay. Cool. So, what's your favourite word?
Okay, I had to think long and hard about this because I like lots of words. My favourite word in all the world is love.
Love. Oh, love it. What gets you up in the morning?
Nowadays, it's a sense of compelling purpose. Running the Thyroid Trust feels like important work, and I am actually the only member of staff, so there's quite a lot to do. So I wake up with my mind going, these are all the things that need to be done, and I leap up and get on with them. So yeah, work, I'm afraid.
Brilliant. No, that's brilliant.
It feels like important work, so yeah, it does. It motivates me a lot.
100%. What do you truly, honestly think of social media?
I truly and honestly totally love it. I think it's fantastic. You know, I'm old enough to remember life before there was social media, and you know, growing up as a kid in the 70s and 80s, it was quite difficult to find like-minded people, and now that is so easy. And it was quite difficult to find, you know, sort of interesting cultural stuff, music, whatever. Now that's really, really easy. I think, you know, what social media brings to society in terms of connecting us, making information readily available, is absolutely revolutionary. And I think it's really exciting. I'm really into it.
She's a fan. Also, go and follow Lorraine on Twitter because she's brilliant on Twitter.
Yeah. _ Lorraine W on Twitter.
She's fab.
And the charity's Thyroid Trust on Twitter as well.
Go follow.
Yay.
At the minute, charity is really impacted by Corona. What do you think is the biggest challenge to your industry? And let's just say for now, charity, I know that you're a mindfulness practitioner as well. What do you think is the biggest impact and challenge for you?
For the charity sector? Yeah, well, the complete uncertainty of the present situation, obviously, and it's, you know, that's the same challenge I think that's facing everybody, whether you're an individual or an organisation, all sectors. But, you know, charities typically raise a lot of money from mass participation events, for example, and obviously none of those are going ahead. You know, charities benefit when people feel reasonably comfortably well off and able to give, and you know, there's not so many people in that comfortable situation at the moment. Yeah, it's a whole untold future that we're going to have to navigate, and we're going to have to sort of think very nimbly. That's challenging.
I'm sure you'll crack it. Definitely. What did you want to be when you're growing up? I know the answer to this.
I just told you when we were waiting to come on. I either wanted to be Prime Minister or I wanted to be a dress designer. One of those two things.
And what led you to your current career?
Well, I kind of bumbled into it, if I'm completely honest. You know, again, talking about growing up, communications was always something that people told me I was good at, and I always enjoyed words, and you know, maybe I might have sort of dreamt of being a writer at one point, but that wasn't something that I had any idea you could actually make a living at. And you know, we were growing up, we didn't have much money, and like I said, I sort of felt quite bored a lot of the time as a child. So I think my primary motivators when I started my career were to be A, not bored, B, not poor. And so I sort of threw myself into London working life as you did, Emma, with those two sort of things really driving me. And so I worked in publishing for 10 years. I started out doing media sales. I worked my way up to be a publisher. And about 10 years in, I had a bit of an epiphany that I wanted to do something a bit more worthwhile, a bit more meaningful. And I was also very excited by what was at the time new emerging digital technologies. So I sort of did a bit of a career shift and started working for organisations that were trying to do some good in the world, and particularly using new technologies. And I ended up working for some quite big charities, doing fundraising, marketing, that sort of thing. And in terms of how I sort of ended up where I am now, doing what I am now, basically I got ill. You know, my thyroid condition knocked me utterly sideways for about 18 months and stopped me being able to work full time. And I ended up doing bits and pieces of freelance work using the various skills that I've got, and started running a support group for thyroid patients because I wanted there to be one and there wasn't. Ran that for a few years as a volunteer. Ended up, you know, sort of other people carried on with that. And then about 2 years after I stopped being involved, we were offered funding to set up a new charity. And I was asked to lead it, which was a huge honour and seemed to fit my skill set and something I'm very passionate about. So, boom, boom, here we are. We've got
amazing.
You know,
so at this point,
of all of those things,
which is life, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
At this point, I have to say, so Lorraine was a fantastic media salesperson. No, you were, and she was. Yes. But also, she was a great publisher as well. And we worked in the West End. There was budgets, there was time, there was expense accounts, and we
there was.
sit in the pub most often. Well, not most afternoons, definitely on a Friday afternoon, but mostly be.
There was a lot of long lunches, wasn't there, back then?
There's a lot of long lunches, late nights, and yeah, it was bloody amazing. I loved it.
Yeah, it was great fun. It's great fun. We worked hard and we played hard. So it's a cliche, but it was good fun.
Exactly, good memories. So your favourite word was love. Can you use it in a sentence?
Yes, I can. Love is all around, and love is all there is.
Very good. And I love actually.
Is it? God.
No. It sounds like. I don't think it is.
It might well be. I don't know. It's kind of sort of.
Can you make your word rhyme with something?
Oh, bloody hell, yes. Can I make the word rhyme? So, love is all around. Love is all there is. I am you, and you are me. Life is simply bliss. Yeah, I told you I was into the old mindfulness stuff as well. So I thought I'd warn you about that.
No, that's good. What advice would you give to your younger, bored self?
My younger, bored self, I wish that somebody had said to me, and I would say to myself now, you can do anything, because I had no idea.
Okay.
And I think that's the best thing anybody can say to a young person, you know, really do what you want to do, and don't be worried about being bored, and don't be worried about being poor, because life is abundant and varied, and go out there and do the things you want to do. You
don't realise it at the time though, do you?
No idea, no.
What's the best thing anyone's ever done for you?
Well, it has to be our benefactor who suggested to us that we set up the Thyroid Trust and basically made it possible for my role to be paid, and has been fantastically supportive from the beginning and continues to be. That's incredible, because we wouldn't have the charity without that faith and that financial support. So I know he wants to remain anonymous, but what he's done for us is incredible.
Amazing. Tell us, you might not have had it yet, but what's been your career defining moment?
No, unfortunately, being ill. You know, because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now if that hadn't happened. So yeah, that sounds a bit grim, doesn't it? But it has led me to really, really interesting and meaningful work. And I've learned a lot, and it's enabled me to help other people. So it's, you know, what they say, every cloud has a silver lining. I wouldn't wish being ill on anybody or myself, but yeah, it's life's rich tapestry, isn't it? It has defined the path that I've ended up taking.
Definitely, I know the biggest challenges in my life have definitely led to some really great things. At the time, I've felt like that, but yeah, 100%. If you won a big award of some kind, who do you think?
Well, you know, if that were ever to happen, there would be so many people to thank. I think, first of all, I'd thank my husband for just being the most amazing support and standing by me. I thank my family for giving me some kind of moral compass, which has guided me through my life and been really important. And, you know, I know a lot of people don't come from families that have that sort of solid, you know, something that gives you strength to get through things. So I think that's really important. And then, you know, whatever I was ever to win an award for, if I ever did, you know, whatever team of people I was working with would be the ones who would have done the lion's share of the work, I'm sure. And so there would be a long list of people that I work with to thank.
100%.
I feel like I just won an award, Emma. That was really a weird experience. I feel all filled with gratitude and lovely now. You have to send me some chocolate or something as a pretend award.
I'll just call you Gwynny. Can you give us the time saver of the day?
Yes, meditate. Meditate for 20 minutes. However pressurized your life might feel, however much you think you've got to do, make the time to do a little bit of mindfulness practice. And actually, even if you really literally can't spare 20 minutes, do like a little 3-minute meditation or something, because it's like plugging yourself into the universe and re-energizing you. Everything is clearer, time opens up. So I can't recommend meditation highly enough. And just emphasize that it doesn't have to be done in a particular way for a particular amount of time. There's lots of different ways that you can practice mindfulness and meditation in your life, and it's really, really worth finding a way that works for you, and doing something regularly helps.
I 100% agree with that. And I think those daily behaviours really make a difference, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. We did a self-care event yesterday for the Thyroid Trust, and we had a wonderful woman called Michelle Bartioni who came, and she's a yoga teacher, but she had us doing self-massage, and a lot of people in the group are really not very well, or a bit older, so she had us doing like chair yoga and then some breathing exercises and some meditation. But all of us came out of that going, oh, feel different, feel good. So those sort of self-care practices are really, really valuable.
Especially right now, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's easy to just get wrapped up in your head and think, oh, these are the things I've got to do, and these are the things I'm not happy about. That is draining. It takes it out of you. So advice to yourself has an effect.
Where do you see your charity or your industry in 24 months?
Well, it's two separate questions, isn't it? So the industry is the charity sector. I think this is a very uncertain future. I suspect there might end up being fewer charities, that people might have to merge. A lot of things will have to be done differently. In terms of the Thyroid Trust, I really, really, really hope that we will come through this. And I believe that we can, because I believe that what we're doing pretty well, and we're getting a lot of positive feedback and a lot of interest. So I hope that in 24 months we'll be a little bit bigger and a little bit more secure. Well, let me speak reality as I want it to be. I believe that in 24 months we will be a secure, well-established, sustainable organisation, because I'll be honest with you, and at the moment it all feels quite precarious. We only completed our registration with the Charity Commission a year ago, and then the pandemic's happened. So tough times ahead, but I'm sure
you've got this.
Yeah, we're determined. We're determined.
Where were you 24 months ago?
So 24 months ago, we were about 6 months into our journey with the Thyroid Trust. So we'd created the brand, and we'd set up the website, and we were still, building the board, getting some really good medics and people with professional expertise on board. We were preparing for a big debate that was going to happen in the House of Lords in June about thyroid treatment, which ended up leading to a huge amount of work for us. And we were just sort of on the cusp of that. We were sitting thinking, ooh, this debate's happening. It's really important. Nobody else is sending parliamentarians detailed information about why it's important. We must do this. So preparing the briefing for that. Really just sort of gearing up. And then at the time also, I was still working for a number of clients. I was doing some arts marketing stuff. I was building websites for people. I had more time in my social life. I think I sort of didn't quite know what was going to hit me, really. 4 months later, here we are.
It's great. So what's an interesting fact about the charity?
Okay, so we're talking about the Thyroid Trust, and I bet lots of people watching this have no idea what that means, what the thyroid is. So your thyroid, interesting fact, is a butterfly-shaped gland, which sits in your neck, and it controls every cell in your body. So when your thyroid goes wrong, it can affect you in lots and lots of different ways. It can be really horrid. So to raise awareness of that interesting fact that it's a butterfly-shaped gland, we've been running around this week on International Thyroid Awareness Week dressed up as butterflies. And that seems to be interesting because we've got some media coverage. So that's my interesting thing. I want everyone to remember it's a butterfly-shaped gland.
Didn't know that.
Thank you. Well, there you go.
There we go. If you could have a 24-minute Skype chat with anybody, who would it be?
Yeah, it would be with my mum, because my mum died when I was 5. So, to have a chat with her would just be amazing. So, there's nobody else in the running for that.
Yeah. Would you mind for us? So if I do a screenshot.
What am I doing?
I'm going to take a screenshot, so you just need to smile.
Oh,
Brilliant. And tell us, what's your favourite social media campaign or Twitter handle?
I would say Action for Happiness. I think Action for Happiness is brilliant. You know, you get immediately what it's about. It's dynamic, it's positive. They do so much. Yeah, I think that's really important and a really good thing.
Especially on a local level as well, they're great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And they're very supportive of small scale initiatives as well. Like I've spoken to the lady who set it up, and you know, we do stuff in my local area with mindfulness, and you know, she's been really, really supportive of that. She's great.
Amazing.
Mm.
What's one quote that defines your work ethic?
Life is not a dress rehearsal. This is it.
That's it. Do it. What's been the best part of your day? I know it's early, so you might not have had it yet.
Well, obviously, Emma, talking to you. But yesterday, I would say the best part of my day was the self-care session that we did with Michelle, which was just beautiful. Just really
that sounds
beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Finally, anything to plug?
Well, it's International Thyroid Awareness Week this week until the 31st of May. And we would love people to get involved with that. Even if you've got a thyroid condition and maybe you've been feeling a bit isolated, you know that you're not alone with the thyroid condition. Or if you don't have a thyroid condition, maybe ask friends and family and see if you find anyone that you know that does, because it's a condition that's often not talked about. And I think it would be really great if we could start some conversations. And if you're interested in you know, sort of getting involved in fundraising or in supporting us with a donation or in doing something creative, helping to amplify our messages on social media, for example, there's lots and lots and lots of ideas, ways that you can get involved on the website. We're always looking for volunteers as well. So, yeah.
Amazing. Oh, look, well done, Lorraine.
Let me show you this. So, International Thyroid Awareness Day, and I said I was dressed up as a butterfly. I've been in the paper, look. Can you see
Oh, babe at last. I love it.
Exactly. So we want more people to do that. There's 3 more days. Be a butterfly, run around, raise some money for the Thyroid Trust. You could save our future.
I love that, Lorraine.
Doing that. Can you believe it? £1,000 just for being a fool.
Amazing. Well,
and it was great fun. Everybody laughed, running through Broadstairs on my own in that get up, and people were just so enthusiastic. It was brilliant fun. I can't recommend it highly enough.
I love that. Well done, Lorraine, on everything that you're doing, and thank you again for your time this morning.
Oh, thank you, Emma. Lovely to chat to you. We must chat again soon and make it more not one-sided.
Absolutely fine by us. Thank you very much.
Lots of love. Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks so much. Bye.